Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today our mission is, well, to really get into the weeds on parasitic worm infections. It's a fascinating, if maybe a bit unsettling world.
Definitely unsettling for some, but the science behind the drugs we use to fight them is incredible.
Absolutely. You shared a great stack of sources on Anthelmintic agents, and we're going to pull out the key insights for you, the stuff you really need to know.
Okay.
Let's unpack this.
Sounds good. And understanding these agents is just so crucial. These treatments, they really show some amazing ingenuity, especially when you think about the global challenge of parasitic diseases.
Right.
Our goal here is just to make this complex info clear, accessible, and hopefully pretty insightful for you.
Great. So let's start at square one. Understanding the invaders. We're talking about helminths, parasitic worms. Your sources mentioned two main types that commonly infect humans.
That's right. The first big group are the nematodes. You probably know them better as roundworms.
Okay, roundworms.
Yeah, and this is a large family. It includes really common ones like pinworms, whipworms, threadworms, ascaris, and those infamous hookworms.
Okay, quite a list there. And the second group?
That would be the platyhelminths, or flatworms.
Flatworms. So distinct from roundworms. What are the key types within that group we should know?
Well, they are, like the name says, flattened. And they break down into two important subtypes for us. First, you have cystodes. Those are the tapeworms.
Ah, tapeworm.
Long, segmented, often living in the gut. And then there are schistosomes, which are a type of fluke. They're interesting because they don't just stick to the digestive tract.
Flukes.
No.
Okay, so we've got roundworms and flatworms, with tapeworms and flukes under the flatworm banner. What does this mean in terms of, where they cause trouble in the body? How do they interact with us?
Yeah, that's the key question. We can broadly categorize them by where they invade. Many are intestine-invading worm infections.
Makes sense. They live in the gut.
Exactly. That includes most of those nematodes we listed: pinworms, whipworms, threadworms, ascaris, hookworms, and also the cestodes, the tapeworms. They set up shop right there in the digestive system.
Okay.
But then you also have tissue-invading worm infections, and these, well, they can be more concerning because they move beyond the gut.
Right, spreading out, like what?
Think conditions like trichinosis, you often get that from undercooked meat, causes muscle issues. Then there's filariasis, which can lead to severe swelling, affecting the lymphatic system, and schistosomiasis, which is chronic and can damage organs like the liver or bladder.
Wow, okay. So quite a range of impacts depending on the worm and where it goes. It's
Yeah,
quite the rogues gallery.
it is.
But thankfully, we aren't defenseless. We have an arsenal, right? Let's talk about the anthelmintic agents, the drugs specifically designed to fight these infections. We're looking at the tools in the toolbox now.
Precisely.
Yep.
And these drugs are quite sophisticated. They target the worms in specific ways, often exploiting some unique aspect of the worm's biology.
So they're targeted.
Very much so. What's fascinating is how precise these actions can be, hitting the worm's vulnerability without, ideally, causing too much harm to us, the host.
Okay, let's dive into the first specific drug then. Albendazole, brand name Albenza. You said these drugs are like specialized weapons.
Yeah.
What's albendazole's main target?
Albendazole is primarily indicated for some pretty serious stuff, active lesions caused by the pork tapeworm, like cysts in the brain.
Wow.
Yeah. And also for cystic disease caused by the dog tapeworm, affecting the liver, lungs, peritoneum. So it's really going after those tissue-based tapeworm infections.
Okay, serious targets indeed.
Yeah.
How does it actually work against them? What's the mechanism?
Its action is clever. It basically blocks tubule formation inside the worm cells. Think of it like dismantling the internal scaffolding of their cells.
Okay.
Without that structure, the cells can't function properly, and that leads directly to cell death.
And how does the body handle this drug? Does it get absorbed well?
Actually, it's poorly absorbed from the GI tract, which might sound odd, but it means less systemic exposure sometimes. What is absorbed reaches peak levels in about 5 hours. It gets metabolized in the liver and mostly leaves the body through feces.
Got it. So, important things to keep in mind. Who shouldn't take it? What are the main side effects we need to watch out for?
Definitely. Contraindications times you shouldn't use it include a known allergy, obviously, also pregnancy or lactation, and significant pre-existing renal or hepatic disease. You need working kidneys and liver.
Standard cautions for many drugs.
Right. And key adverse effects can range from headache, dizziness, and fever to more serious things like renal failure or even severe bone marrow depression, so it needs careful monitoring.
Okay, that's important. Any major drug interactions?
Yes, the sources highlight avoiding it with dexamethasone, praziquantel, another drug we'll discuss, and cimetidine. These can affect how albendazole works or increase risks.
All right, so that's albendazole for those tissue tapeworms. Now, let's shift gears slightly. What about ivermectin? Brand name Stromectol. Where does this one fit in?
Ivermectin is really key for treating threadworm disease that's strong lidiasis, which can cause ongoing gut and skin problems.
Okay.
And crucially, it's used for onchocerciasis, which you might know as river blindness, a really devastating parasitic disease affecting vision.
River blindness, right. So how does ivermectin take these worms down? Different mechanism.
Yeah, a different approach. It works by blocking calcium channels in the worms.
Calcium channels.
Right. These are vital for the worm's nerve and muscle function. So blocking them essentially paralyzes the worm, cuts the power, you could say. Nerve and muscle paralysis leads to cell death.
That sounds effective. How does it travel to the body? Absorption.
Unlike albendazole, ivermectin is readily absorbed from the GI tract, which makes sense as it needs to reach those tissue-dwelling worms effectively.
Oh, okay.
It hits peak levels in about 4 hours, gets fully metabolized in the liver.
Hmm.
It has a half-life around 18 hours, and then it's primarily excreted in the feces.
And the cautions for ivermectin. Similar contraindications and side effects.
Largely similar contraindications. Known allergy, pregnancy, lactation, and severe renal or hepatic disease. The adverse effects can include things like abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, headache, dizziness, sometimes fever and shaking.
Any specific drug interactions mentioned?
For specifics, the source material advises consulting a comprehensive drug guide as interactions can be complex.
Okay, always good advice. Let's move on to mebendazole. You might know this one as Mverm or Vermox. Seems quite common. What's its main role?
Mebendazole is indicated for a broader range of common intestinal worms. Think pinworms, roundworms, whipworms, and hookworms. It's more of a generalist for gut worms.
Okay, so hitting the common intestinal guys, how does it work? What's its trick?
Its trick is quite neat. It messes with the worm's ability to use glucose.
Their sugar source.
Exactly, their main energy fuel. By blocking glucose uptake, they can't reproduce, they can't function, and they essentially starve, leading to cell death.
Clever. And how's its journey through the body? Does much get absorbed?
Very little, actually. It's not absorbed systematically much at all, which is great because it stays concentrated in the gut where those particular worms live.
Minimizes side effects elsewhere.
Right. It gets metabolized by the liver, but most of it just passes through and is excreted unchanged in the feces.
And the safety side. Given it targets common things, is it generally well tolerated?
The contraindications are similar allergy, pregnancy, lactation, renal hepatic issues, but the adverse effects tend to be milder, mostly things like abdominal discomfort, maybe some diarrhea or pain. Fewer significant systemic effects are noted.
Drug interactions, same advice.
Yes, consult a drug guide for specifics is the recommendation.
All right, next on our list is praziquantel, brand name Biltricide. This one targets a specific and globally important group of parasites, right?
Absolutely. Praziquantel is the go-to treatment for a wide range of schistosomes, those flukes we mentioned earlier,
Schistosomiasis, yeah.
which is a massive public health issue globally. It also treats other types of flukes, so incredibly important drug.
And how does it deal with these flukes? What's its approach?
Praziquantel works really rapidly. It increases the permeability of the worm's outer membrane, its skin.
Makes it leaky.
Essentially, yes, very leaky. This causes a sudden loss of intracellular calcium, leading to intense muscle contractions, followed quickly by paralysis. They basically spasm, lose their grip inside the blood vessels where they live, and get swept away.
Wow, quite dramatic. How quickly does this happen? And how is it processed?
It's absorbed rapidly from the GI tract, peaks in just 1 to 3 hours. It gets metabolized in the liver pretty quickly, too, with a short half-life under 1.5 hours usually, and it's mainly excreted via the urine.
Okay. Contraindications and side effects for praziquantel. Consistent theme here.
Pretty consistent. Known allergy, pregnancy, lactation, renal hepatic disease. Adverse effects can include abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, headache, dizziness, fever, and shaking, similar to ivermectin in some ways.
Interactions.
Same advice again. Consult a drug guide for the specifics.
Okay, last one on our main list. Pyrantel. You might see this as Anthelmintic, Pinrid, Pinex, maybe Reese's pinworm. Often over the counter, right? What's it used for?
Exactly. Pyrantel is primarily for treating pinworms and roundworms, and because it's often available over the counter, it's frequently the first thing people reach for, especially for family pinworm outbreaks.
Makes sense. How does it knock out these common worms?
It acts as a neuromuscular polarizing agent. Bit of a mouthful, but it basically causes paralysis in the worms specifically, a spastic paralysis where their muscles contract uncontrollably. This leads to them losing their grip in the intestine and eventual cell death.
And its journey through the body, absorption.
Like mebendazole, it's poorly absorbed. Most of it stays in the gut and gets excreted unchanged in the feces, which is perfect for targeting intestinal worms.
Any specific cautions for Pyrantel, especially given you can buy it without prescription sometimes? Any unique contraindications?
The standard ones apply allergy, pregnancy lactation, renal hepatic disease. But one notable point is that its safety hasn't been established for children under 2 years old.
Ah, good to know. Adverse effects are usually mild abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, pain, generally well tolerated, which fits its OTC status. Drug interactions. Again, best to check a guide.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of different drugs, each with its own specific way of working.
It really is. And I think, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what's truly amazing here is the sheer diversity of these mechanisms. It's not just one way to kill a worm.
Right.
Each drug exploits a specific vulnerability, dismantling internal structures, cutting off energy, paralyzing nerves, making membranes leaky. It just shows how much we've learned about parasite biology to develop such targeted treatments. It's really a testament to medical science.
That's a fantastic summary of this medical arsenal. It almost feels like we have a specific tool for nearly every kind of worm invader. But, treatment is one thing. What about stopping them in the first place? Prevention.
Absolutely critical.
Let's maybe use pinworms as an example, since they're so common. What practical steps can people take? What really makes a difference in breaking that cycle of infection?
Yeah, pinworms are a great example because the prevention is all about straightforward hygiene, but it has to be consistent. What really stands out is how these simple steps interrupt the worm's life cycle.
Like what specifically?
Okay, so first, keep fingernails short. The eggs easily get trapped under nails from scratching. Second, keep hands really well scrubbed, especially after the toilet and before eating. Seems obvious, but vital. Showering in the morning is recommended. Why? Because it washes away any eggs that might have been laid around the anal area overnight.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Then there's the laundry. Change and launder undergarments, bed linens, pajamas daily in hot water. That kills the eggs.
Daily laundry sounds like a bit of work, but necessary.
It is during an active infection to really break the cycle.
Yeah.
Also, disinfecting the toilet seat daily and the bathroom and bedroom floors periodically helps get rid of environmental contamination. And, again, vigorous hand washing after using the bathroom. It's all about stopping those microscopic eggs from spreading.
These are really practical steps.
Yeah.
It just underscores how much basic, everyday hygiene matters in preventing these common infections. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful.
Absolutely. It empowers people to take control and protect themselves and their families.
We have certainly covered a lot of ground today in this deep dive. We've gone through the different types of helminths, the roundworms, the flatworms, the flukes, the tapeworms, learned where they like to invade, from the intestines to the tissues. And then we really dug into the specifics of these anthelmintic drugs, albendazole, ivermectin, mebendazole, praziquantel, parantal, understanding their unique and, frankly, pretty clever ways of fighting back.
It's been quite the exploration, and it kind of leaves you thinking, doesn't it? This raises an important question, perhaps for you, our listener, to ponder. Well, considering the incredible variety of strategies these worms use to infect us, and the equally diverse and sophisticated methods we've developed to combat them, how does this ongoing biological arms race, this battle, reflect the broader themes of interconnectedness and constant adaptation within all biological systems, even the ones we can't see? It's this dynamic dance of survival happening all the time.
That is a great thought to end on. That constant adaptation, that push and pull between parasite and host. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep exploring, keep learning.